Hey everybody, this is Jim at SP500chart.com. It is about quarter till 4 on April 30th, 2014. The market's got about 15 minutes left here, maybe a little bit more. And I'm going to go ahead and do the video now because my schedule is either I do it now or I do it around 7:30. So I'm doing it now. Before we take a look at this chart, I want to remind you that the website and this video are for educational purposes only, and nothing stated at the site or in this video is intended to be used as investment advice. I can draw lines on charts, but you have to draw your own conclusions from your own research and make investment decisions that are suitable for your personal financial situation. I am not a licensed financial professional. I'm just a guy who draws lines on charts. So let's take a look. Starting out here looking at a 1-hour chart that shows pretty clearly this area of consolidation that we have been in for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.5. Actually, including back here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9.5 weeks. There was a movie called 9.5 Weeks, but we don't need to go there. And we've seen a little bit of movement to the upside of this consolidation range, but then we also saw movement to the downside in this range. And 1884 has really been putting up a fight. You can see right now as we look at this trading live, we're at 1883, and this is the BATS exchange, by the way. It's going to be off by a very, very, very small percentage over the New York Stock Exchange, or so this is a little bit different, but not by much. So what we're seeing here is movement right on up to that 1884 level. We've gotten over that just a little bit from time to time. And you can see there we are, just knocking right on that door. Now, I want to remind you that this has something already of a bullish kind of shape to it. And I feel that this could be the time that we indeed get over 1884. But you know, it's not a done deal till it's a done deal. This has been a nice day. We got over that little resistance line that was at about 1880 or so, this little line right here. And here we are. We ran up to 1885, bounced back down to about 1880, ran back up to 1885, and we've given just a little bit of that up. So, guys, we are really, I think all I need to do today is to remind you of what we've already known, that we've got resistance at 1884, and now it appears we could refine that to 1885. And we've got support at around 1840 to 1850. I think that this little day and a half that we spent trading between these lines right here, or we could even say between these, it's not a super exact science at this point in time, but it just looks to me like this little wiggle right here should eventually provide the base for getting up above 1885. You can see here we're coming down off of that by now about 3 points or so from when I first started this video. So let's just see if this ends up being something again of an inverted head and shoulders shape that could take us over 1885. You know, we've got our target of about 1950. And if that were to take place, it's interesting to note that would also, by the way, that 1950 target is drawn all the way back from when we made this little dip here where we encountered our 1840 to 1850 neckline. That's where I get that actually it came to 1957, 1958. But if we were to get over this line based upon the depth of this pattern, I think it's kind of interesting to note. If we measure this, there's our depth. If we get over it, what would our target be? Guess what? It's the same thing. 1957, 1958. So I think that's like another reason that we could say this pattern, coupled with the one that I showed you where this 1840, 1850 is the neckline, if we can break out over this line right here and break out with a nice move over it, say close over 1900, then we should be making this 1957, 1958-ish target. So guys, really, as I look at what's taking place today, it's pretty basic. We came down a little bit, kind of tested some of the lows that we saw yesterday, but eventually we got over this short-term resistance line right here at 1880, and I just hope that we can get a little steam underneath us to get over this pesky line. Again, if you look at it, look how stubborn this line has been, with the exception of these about 2.5 day stretch where we were over this line back in the early part of April. We got to do better than that. Again, I'm going to say a close over 1900 should be the signal that we're going to run on up and we're going to make that 1957, 1958 target. The good news is, as we've continued to go sideways, each day we spend going sideways, we create a more spacious environment above us to meet that target. For example, while we were back here, we knew we would likely be bumping into some resistance. That would mean we would have to take a slow path to 1958. But now that we've gone sideways for about another 5 weeks, a breakout above this line, and within a week we could be there. So that's created that headroom space that's free and clear of our resistance lines that are either, well, most of them are now at this point broken support lines, like here, that is resistance. This is just a resistance line from way back when. Okay, so this is that original line that goes over some tops, and this is the one that we talked about that has not been touched in a long time. So therefore, it's hard to know exactly where this should be as we look at it today. But guys, nice day. Took out this short-term resistance at about 1880. Let's see if we can get the steam to take out 1884, 1885, and get up into the mid-1900s. So there's your video for the last day of April, April 30th, 2014. Let's see if the 1st of May brings us some good news and a little renewed buying pressure to get the job done and get us over 1900 in a meaningful way. So guys, thanks again for watching. Take care.